Paul, you idiot. I had a major face palm in the opening of episode 4 of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. I'm fully caught up at this point, up to episode 6. So, full on spoilers for everybody up to episode 6 of Jobless Reincarnation. It's my thoughts on the series so far. Now, after 4, 5, and 6 episode, my thoughts on the series. And it's still hitting all the marks. Still really, really enjoying the series. Now, granted, I miss Roxy so much at this point. I kind of have the same feeling as Rudy. You have these shots of Rudy all the time with the punts he kept of her, and later on when he doesn't have those, he's making figures of her. So obviously Rudy feels the same sadness as I do for the missing Roxy, and now apparently missing Sylphie. He keeps getting harem members and then he leaves them behind. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But no, it was, like I said, very, very frustrating episode 4 with Paul essentially being outed for getting Lilia pregnant along with Zenith. So we have 2 kids on the way for Paul, and then later on we find out that he was betting Geese Lane as well, but technically that could have been long before he settled down with Zenith. So whereas Lilia, that was obviously after settling down with Zenith. So, but no, my frustration really just stems with the fact that Zenith is gorgeous, and the fact that he had that issue does upset me a little bit. But hey, he's getting away with it thanks to Rudy, I guess, at this point. But no, I again, like I said, thoroughly enjoying it. We gone from basically a huge fiasco of the infidelity of Paul getting with Lilia, the 2 kids on the way, the birth of those 2 kids, and now Rudy wanting to go to an academy, but wanting to bring Sylphie with him. And so he has to gain the money up in order to pay for her tuition as well, because he doesn't want to leave her behind. So he's going. Paul decided to sign Rudy up to tutoring a. They said they're from the same family. They're from the Grey Rat family, but it doesn't really specify who they are within the family. I'm assuming a cousin or brother or something like that. But he's gone to another family, which they come to find out the Grey Rat family is from a lot of riches. They're a noble family or something. But Rudy goes to this other Grey Rat family to tutor Eris of that family. And so he's teaching Eris like math, arithmetic, all this other stuff, reading, writing, magic. And then Geese Lane is teaching him and Eris like physical combat, swordsmanship. Geese Lane is awesome. I love her character. Her introduction was fantastic because she just kind of shows up and she's very short with everything she says. She's like, yeah, yeah. But now, obviously, we've seen her pretty much decimate a group of guys like it was nothing. So she's obviously incredibly strong, but she's unfortunately not too smart. So she's, obviously, like I said, Rudy's training her as well in how and all this kind of stuff. But no, like I said, it's still got its charm. It's still got great, fantastic animation here and there. The styling, the artwork, everything is just top notch. It got a little brutal with Eris and the kidnapping that Rudy was trying to set up. They didn't really. It was odd because it didn't seem like they really addressed what happened with the kidnapping. Like Rudy, in order to get Eris to accept him tutoring her, because she's just a total snob and just very violent, doesn't want to do anything. He tries to get her to accept his training by faking that they got kidnapped together and showing her what the magic can do. And while they're kidnapped, obviously one of the guys that was working at the mansion wanted to get rid of her. They said that the Grey Rat family, through political other needs, are kind of wanted. So kidnapping her is obviously something that would kind of benefit that. So this one of the guys that was working at the manor was the one that apparently stepped forward to say, hey, yeah, I'll help you with that, and then ended up using it as a way of actually kidnapping her. It just really felt like they didn't really have control over the situation, which you'd think that they would have. So it felt weird. It felt very weird how that kind of all played out, and why Geese Lane, who was supposed to be their guard wouldn't be right there watching. It wasn't until they finally got back to their hometown before Geese Lane showed up. So it just felt it felt very weird, but not that it ruined anything. It felt very weird looking back on it now. But yeah, Eris got brutally messed up, and that was kind of hard to watch. But thanks to healing magic, she got her teeth back at least. Didn't get back her pride. Love the scene where Geese Lane showed up too, because they had this comment that Rudy made. They were offering him money to kind of, not bother them and let them kidnap her. And he's like, no, they wanted him to join them because he knew magic. And Rudy was actually contemplating, and then he's like, yeah, but money can't buy Dere. And for those that don't know what that means, technically, Eris is the tsundere archetype, and the Tsun part is the coldness, and the Dere part is the love. So that's why they call them tsunderes. It's a combination of two words. And obviously, he's dealing with the Tsun part, which is the cold and violent type. And the idea is that eventually you get to that Dere part, and if he takes the money, you can't buy that Dere part. He's got to do what he's doing now to get to that Dere part where she's loving and whatnot. So yeah, that was a huge kick. I got a huge laugh out of that. But yeah, after that, we're pretty much, like I said, training him or training Eris, and they had a funny moment where he found a aphrodisiac, and they wanted to know what that whole thing was. So that was kind of funny as well. Was that it? Oh, they revealed something about the world itself. They had apparently the 3 heroes that defeated Laplace, which apparently was this big demon lord thing that was attacking the world at some point. There was a flying fortress of Perigus, who is the guy, one of the 3 heroes that defeated Laplace. So it was cool to kind of get that little insight into some possible history of the world itself, that there was this demon lord that was defeated at some point. I at first was kind of curious. They technically laid it out as if this happened a long time ago. So obviously Zenith and Paul is not a part of that team. Obviously they also said that, or Geese Lane at some point mentioned that she was a part of a party of 5. So it was Zenith, Paul, Geese Lane, and a mage, and something else. I forget what the other class was. And obviously Zenith was a cleric, and Paul was a warrior. Geese Lane was a warrior. I forget what the other class was. But they were a party of 5. And so this party of 3 that took down Laplace wouldn't have been them. So I am curious to see if they go into anything else about there. Rudy obviously says that he wants to go up there and see what's going on in that castle. But that was a cool little insight into the world. I always kind of like those little nuggets of information thrown in there here and there. So they also mentioned that that Rudy's going to be there for 5 years, essentially. He's 7 now. They said that he was getting paid to train Eris until he was 12. So that's 5 years that he's going to be there training Eris and getting trained by Geese Lane before he ends up, going back to Silthy and Zenith and Paul and go to the academy. So that is kind of interesting that he was willing to do that, because he didn't want to leave Sylphie behind. Here's a really funny thing that came into my mind. So his whole thing with going to the academy, he didn't want to leave Sylphie behind. And so he's trying to get at the money to be able to bring Sylphie with him to go to the academy. But he's willing to leave to go train Eris for 5 years. How long does it take for you to do the academy? It's going to be the same amount of time. So that was another little weird thing kind of inserted in there. I'm sure there's some kind of explanation that I'm missing in there somewhere. But yeah, that is another kind of little, I don't know what's going on there kind of things. But yeah, anyways. Surprisingly enough, I actually did really like the grandfather of Eris. I think that he is one of those really rough, mean guys that obviously has a soft side that wants to protect his children, and he's just a big old teddy bear, essentially, in the end. But I also like the letter that Rudy read from Paul, talking about where he's going and everything, having mentions of Geese Lane and everything like that. There's some really good writing mixed all in there. Really looking forward to more of it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Jobless Reincarnation so far. I'll probably hopefully keep getting videos out here on this one. I am, like I said, really enjoying it. It's a very beautiful show. Really happy to hear that it is continuing on. It's going to be an ongoing series, not just 11 episodes like I feared before. I haven't got a full I haven't been able to find a confirmation that says that it is going to be fully adapted. So if you guys know where that confirmation is, please let me know. I just know that there's been a lot of mention of it being ongoing, and that they have another season coming up here, I believe in summer. I think summer. But fantastic to know, because I know it's supposed to be a really ongoing series. So yeah, really excited. If you guys enjoy this video, as always, please leave a like, leave a subscription if you can, if you haven't already. We love the support. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of these episodes. And as always, y'all take care.